Welcome back to Good Film Hunting. My name is Jack. I'm the host of this show. Back with me today is my boy Nate, the co-host. Nate, how you doing today,
What
brother?
do you mean? I'm Omega. Uh, I'm just a wee child. She's not British. I can't do an Australian accent.
Dude,
I'm too tired. I'm fine. I'm um I'm force sensitive, I think.
are
Yeah.
you? Are you? I still have yet to see because I haven't seen you
I
do
don't I
anything besides get in
was gonna
trouble
say,
and
I don't think the writers have figured out what I'm doing.
I don't know. Don't
That's okay.
let's not spectate
Yeah,
though because last time Filoni was at your door
that's true.
knocking like a
That's
madman.
true.
He was there. He was waiting
God, I
for
hope
you.
that doesn't happen again.
Oh God, I kind of hope it
Yeah, it's
does. Like
true.
just for the sake of
Because like that's
content.
never happened
And we got
before, other than when we were doing that. So if it happens again today, I really might be
you see the
Filoni.
cowboy hat peeking through the
Yeah,
window.
scary.
Uh, but I forgot what I was gonna say. That's a great time. Uh, nice.
Nice.
So here in this podcast, we talk about comics, TV shows, all that mainstream media that we care about and give our bad opinions for. And we beat our expected viewer count of 14. We had 24 downloads in the first week. So look at that, man. Look, we
Wow.
got, if I had mom put it on Facebook, I might have had 64. So we're gonna,
Yeah, that's 24 more people than I
yeah, I
thought.
know. Well, thanks. That really goes to our skills. But that's okay because we're going to keep getting better and we're going to keep uploading. And maybe next week we're just going to keep getting a couple more viewers because we're going to promote. Not a lot, just on my Snapchat story. Uh,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
enough.
that's enough. We'll get like 4 viewers. I'll get, sponsored by Disney at some point. Uh,
Absolutely.
but the first news we're going to talk about today Disney is reportedly trying to purchase DC, and it would be ran by Kevin Feige in the movie department. How do you feel about that?
I don't believe it at all. I have looked it up. I cannot find anything that's like solid. There's no
Yeah.
way that happens. And like, because that's like, uh, I don't know. I mean, Disney buying Fox was a huge news to
Yeah, they
begin
got
with.
their main
But if they
characters.
Yeah, and also just like all the other movies and animation studios that they absorbed
Yeah.
with that, like on just like a not even superhero, just like an entertainment scale, like that's
Mm-hmm.
huge. And then if they had like the rights to the DC comics, like to make the movies, I don't even know what that would do for Warner Brothers. Whole plan with like I'm sure HBO, movies and shows and whatnot, and then the CW, like what? Like there's like on a very basic scale of like, yes, Kevin Feige having Batman and Superman would be dope, but then it's like it'd be such a mess, and it would also be like I don't know.
Yeah,
That's like owning your competition. It's like if Coke bought Pepsi. Feels a little weird.
if it isn't already Monopoly Mickey, then just like that, he's coming in for the steal, man, and he does not care. But I agree with you on that. I feel like not only from a creative standpoint would if you're all in the same studio, you're not going to have a need to really compete except internal competition. Like there's no need to compete with outsiders. So from a business perspective
Yeah,
alone, I feel like it'd be stupid in terms of competition. I don't think it would happen. I don't think it would get passed. First of all, uh,
yeah, no.
just because, yeah,
And this like, I mean, this is kind of a different topic, but I always hated the like Marvel versus DC
yeah,
thing. It's like they're both the same. Like anyone who's a fan of superheroes likes both,
exactly.
most likely. And they're different markets. Like I like the DC movies to be a little darker and like a whole different side of the superhero
Hmm.
world than Marvel.
Yeah, I like DC being more because Marvel's definitely got that too, but at the same time, there's a lot of lighter tones, and the deeper tones are more
Hmm.
for like the big fans, like not every show is going to be Falcon and Winter Soldier. There's going to be a lot
Yeah,
more Ant Man and the Wasp before that. But with
exactly.
DC, you got the Batman. I mean, the Batman lore alone. If like they really went into Batman and like Red Hood and all those stories, like a live
Hmm.
action Killing Joke, absolutely ridiculous,
Oh my god, that'd
dude.
be awesome.
Uh,
Didn't they do an animated Killing
yeah,
Joke
the
movie?
DC animated universe is really solid. I still need to finish watching the
Yeah.
movies, but those animated movies, like Marvel, can't compete with their animation. Uh,
Oh god, no. And um, side note, they just HBO Max announced they're going to do a new Batman animated
Yeah.
series um, with the guy who's doing the new
Yeah,
Batman
Matt
movie,
Reeves.
and also the guy who did the original animated series. And I grew up on that. I love that show so
I
much.
was talking to one of my friends about that, and do you think it's gonna tie in? Because, like,
I
here's the
don't know,
thing.
maybe because it was saying it's going to be like the beginning of the Dark
Yeah.
Knight's career, which is the
So,
same as the
yeah,
movie.
it's
So
year 2
maybe.
is, the Batman is taking place in year 2, uh,
Hmm.
and it's gonna obviously be really dark and edgy, and in order to flesh out that character, I feel like it'd be really, like, dope to have the cast voice act. That way it's less
That
time,
would be
like, they
cool.
can work on an actual movie, but, like, it's, like, gonna be, like, 3 years in between each movie, maybe 4, because how the studios are,
Yeah,
so I feel like if you have a
yeah,
voice action, like, TV show every year or 2 to fill those gaps, it'd just be a lot more convenient.
yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna do it.
And that'd be like a totally different take on like these interconnected movie series.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's like, oh, there's live action movie every 3 years, and in between you have 2 seasons of an animated TV show. Like
I mean,
that's
it's
pretty
gotta
cool.
happen at some point, I feel like. I mean, the Marvel's already got
Yeah,
the live action tie-ins, but the animation's just so much easier,
true.
and with the level
Yeah,
of
and it's a
yeah.
completely different thing. Like you can do so much more with
Mhm.
animation
Yeah,
sometimes.
that's what I like what Star Wars does with their animated shows. Not
Yeah,
as much the
exactly.
Bad Batch recently, but we'll get into that.
Well, you mean
Yeah, get a
the
Meg
bad?
out of here.
You got something against me family? Oi,
Okay,
bro,
you sound like
in
Dobby
it?
right there. You don't even sound like a Mega.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can't do
that's
Australian.
okay. It's all right, mate. Uh,
It's all right. Cheers, Governor. Crikey, another clown gone bad. Oh, you pity, innit? That's what the show is to
dude,
me.
the show is literally just a different accent. Uh,
Yeah, all
Mandalorian.
done by the same dude.
Yeah,
I
all
like how he does all the Bad Batch. That's
new
pretty cool.
story pitch. Adult male is a mentor. But we already talked about that.
In a
Yeah,
world where adult men are mentors for young, force-sensitive children, this summer.
starring Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Oh yeah, get him up in the Star Wars
He's already
world.
in the Disney. He's in Jungle Cruise. He's in DC. He's
Yeah.
now what's his name? The dog? Crypto. He's a live action Crypto. Yeah,
What?
you see that he got cast as a Crypto in the.
You're messing with me right now. I can't
I
tell.
swear.
No.
Yeah, yeah,
What?
exactly. He got cast, bro. He's a Crypto in the new animated series of the DC dogs. I forgot the name of them. I swear.
That sentence made absolutely no sense.
How,
What?
dude?
DC dog
Dude,
show? I'm Googling
yeah.
this right now. I Googled DC dog show and it gives me an Eventbrite link to a Washington dog show that's
Okay.
happening in DC.
Crypto.
Oh, it's $25 for a ticket.
The super dog. Yeah,
Hmm.
Crypto the super dog. He's a part of uh
Oh,
well,
wait, The
the
Rock?
original show has 5.6 out of 10 stars on IMDb. That's not good. The Rock.
No, that's not fantastic.
Yeah, Dwayne the
Check
Rock
this
Johnson to
out.
play Crypto the super dog in DC League of Super Pets.
DC League of Super. All right, never mind. I take back what I said. Disney, buy DC. Fix this, please. Oh my
Dude,
god.
it's so bad. Okay, so to
Whatever.
transition from that shit show of a studio, Marvel released the trailer for Eternals this week. What do you think of it? It got super
Yes.
mixed. Actually, I'm gonna go first this time.
Yes, go
It got
first.
super mixed reviews by fans.
Really?
Like a lot of the reception on Twitter was like, first of all, oh, like where have they been the whole time? But and I don't know. I've read the comics are really interesting. The good thing about this is they can do so much. They're super limited comic wise. There's not a ton.
Hmm.
They're regendering like half of the, which like I'm fine with. I don't care what they do with that.
Yeah.
But they're changing a lot of the story. I feel like, and it's just such an open group of
Hmm.
characters. You can have the main core of the Eternals are you know created by the Celestials to monitor, and there's the Deviants, and then the humans,
Hmm.
and they're not supposed to interfere. My guess is that when half the galaxy, half the universe got snapped away, the Celestials were like, about that. You guys should probably keep a closer eye now. That's gonna be my guess
Yeah, exactly.
on how they evolve it because that's
Yeah,
the
that's like the main
yeah
event that
that's the big
happens.
question. If
Yeah.
you're like these eternal, literally gods, little
Hmm.
g, and you have these powers, and you could beat the piss out of guys like Thor, why are you just sitting back watching a purple thumb? collect some rocks.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah,
Grimace.
I think it looks really good. Uh,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
excited. Like I was confused by the little like that 8 second teaser
yeah,
that went out like a month ago. I was like, I don't know. And people were like describing the plot to me. I was like, yeah, it sounds fine. But like that trailer sold me
yeah,
because like I love like the mythical, historical, but it's also sci-fi superheroes. I like that whole
yeah.
get, and the trailer was really good. And also, it made me think of like I remember I loved the Avengers and all that stuff, and then the trailer for the Guardians came out, and I was like, that's not connected. Like, what is
Yeah, I
this?
think.
Like, it was like it opens up a whole new world, and obviously now the cosmic side of the MCU is like such an important
Oh,
part.
dude,
But I feel
yes.
like this is going to open up a whole new like I don't even know
I think
spiritual
it's gonna be
question
very. I
mark
think it's gonna be very.
fantasy
Yeah,
side.
it's gonna be very tone different from Guardians. I think at the tone,
Oh yeah,
the
for sure.
tone's gonna be more. I feel like the first two Avengers movies.
Yeah,
But you got the camaraderie and the
exactly.
family, and there's some great actors, and like this cast is studded. You got a
Yeah,
Richard Madden, you got Angelina Jolie, Kid. We got the whole.
you got the two Stark
Yep,
brothers.
exactly. We got all the lookalikes now to take over for Tony and Cap. Actually, we already got our new Cap. But yeah, I think it's gonna be really great. Like you can only tell so much by trailer, especially with a weird property like this. They can do so much. They can totally rewrite the story if they want to. I have no clue what they're gonna do
Exactly.
with it. My guess is that when the snap happened, Celestials decided that Thanos is a eternal with the deviant gene.
Yeah.
So my guess is that after this whole thing, they just decided that it's time to come out. But I have no clue, and I'm excited about that. That's the thing about a lot of these stuff coming out this year, especially Loki, which comes out in less than 2 weeks.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know what the hell they're gonna do, uh, and
No.
I'm really excited about that aspect of that stuff. But speaking of, we don't know what
Yeah.
the hell they're gonna do. What the hell is Sony gonna do with Aaron Taylor Johnson
Oh
as
my
Craven
god.
the Hunter?
I somehow didn't know that this was happening until
20
you
minutes
like
ago.
sent me the
Yeah,
notes of what to talk about, and I googled it because I thought it was like just a rumor, but it's confirmed.
yeah,
And that I was already confused about the Sony
yep.
verse, and now I'm mega confused because they can't try to tie it with Tom Holland because we already had that actor
Well, we
play
had what's her
Quicksilver.
name is in Eternals, and she's in Captain Marvel as two characters, two bigger characters. I forgot the
What?
Asian actress. I forgot her name. Uh, let's
Oh yeah.
what's hold on.
Wait a minute. How did I mean? I knew there were like small
Yeah,
things like Star Lord's mom is in Captain America, and um, this like reusing a background actress more or
yeah.
less.
What is her name? Gemma Chan.
But
She's in
wow,
yeah, she's in Eternals as she plays Cersei, and I think she's playing Cersei. Let me look it up, but I'm pretty sure she's playing. Who's also a dope ass character of the Eternals. So
yeah,
she's in two of them, so they could do it, but it's just
that's true.
it's so
It's
weird.
a little strange.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Oh, yeah, she was. Wow. All right,
Yeah,
I saw Captain Marvel
she's
once. I need to
she's
rewatch it.
playing Cersei.
Um. Well, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
so he is going to be Craven, and my thoughts are
Craven.
you could tie it in, but also you can't
Yeah.
bring back Quicksilver, which I don't think he wanted to come back as Quicksilver anyway.
Yeah.
But
No.
Craven, the Aaron Taylor Johnson doesn't like multi-picture deals, and he is signing a multi-picture deal for this. So the only way I feel like he would do this is if Craven is ultimately going to be such a tie-in to the MCU or the Sonyverse as a whole. Because all I want,
Yeah, but
I'm gonna talk about this at the end, but all I want is a Craven the Last Hunt movie.
that'd be
Oh,
cool.
that'd be so good. That's like one of the best Spider-Man stories. It's super dark. We haven't had a dark Peter Parker story yet. The closest has been
I know.
Grounded
I
Spider-Man
hope.
2.
Yeah, that's true. I hope that we do get a more mature Peter Parker
Uh,
eventually, because he keeps going through these like absurd life changing moments like within 2 years of his life.
and
Hopefully,
it's
there's we get
you know how I
Parker
feel
stuff.
about the Peter stories. I
Oh
like
yeah,
the movies. They're good movies, the new ones, but they're not good Peter Parker stories in my opinion.
no, not
Uh
necessarily. I think Homecoming more so than
yeah,
Far From
Homecoming's a
Home. Far From Home felt like a great
yeah,
MCU movie and a cool Spider-Man movie. But
Far From Home's a better movie, but Spider-Man or Homecoming's a better Peter Parker story, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm excited to see Craven. He's, hasn't been in the movies yet.
I just yeah, for sure. I there's one aspect of like he makes so much sense in like a crazy comic book like this hunter with this big fur collar kind of
Yeah.
thing. But how do you adapt that necessarily to a quote unquote realistic superhero movie?
Well,
That's one
they did
question
adapt
that
the
I'm sure they
yeah,
could
they
figure it
adapted
out.
a tree and a talking raccoon to be, some of the
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. They can do anything.
and
But then my problem, like obviously I'm pro Craven. I think Aaron Tyler Johnson's a fantastic actor. All that's great. But the Sonyverse as a whole, is he just gonna be like in multiple of their villain
so he has his
movies?
own movie.
Are they
Yeah, so Sony
exactly?
literally only
But
owns villains because well, they're doing the Silk show, and that comes out either later this year or next year. That's live action. And then I think they're trying to do like a Madam Web thing, but most of their stuff's villains, and then Venom's an anti-hero. He's more of a hero in the movies. He'll
yeah.
be more of a hero, I think. I think like when we see him eventually face off against Peter, it's going to be a situation where they face off at the start of the movie and then team up.
The old Batman versus
Yeah,
Superman
good old never been used before. Yeah,
never been used
never seen it
before.
in Godzilla versus Kong or anything like that. Uh,
Or even like the first Avengers movie when Thor was fighting them. But I don't know. The whole Sony thing, I want them to like straighten it out and to just like present the world with like this very straightforward 1 minute YouTube
yeah.
video explaining everything and I'll
Well,
be
I think
happy.
Jared Leto's a great actor. I think Morbius is gonna be dog shit unless, like, Vulture's in
Yeah.
there. But and here's the thing, if you have Morbius, you open up like, you don't have to have a great first movie if you just wanna introduce Morbius, but I feel like he can't carry
Yeah,
a
but
movie. Jared Leto can carry a movie.
yeah.
The character of Morbius can't. That's how I feel about it. Uh, and
Yeah, but
yeah.
then I mean that whole aspect of the superhero world is kind of cool, especially if we're going to bring in
Yes, I was
Blade,
just about
which
to
has
get to
been
that. I was
confirmed.
just about to get
So like if we're doing like dark demon vampire stuff, all right, but Morbius is a weird place to
yeah.
start.
And that's the thing is you have Morbius, and then you have Blade, and then you can get Craven to hunt them. And we got some dark teams that we could really be introducing. And I'm down for it,
Yeah.
but I wish they would be more clear because a lot of these studios have been canceling projects, and I'm surprised Morbius even got through filming, let alone it's going to be
Yeah,
released next year.
it is. That was
Yeah, it's
confirmed.
early. I think it's like March. Yeah,
2022.
let me look it up.
Hmm.
We're so prepared. Uh,
So prepared. That's interesting. I don't know. Bottom of the line is I'm excited. I'm sure I'll watch it.
oh yeah,
I'll be confused. I'm always a little confused. It'll be
January
fine.
28th.
January.
Hey,
All
we'll
right.
both be
Yeah,
in
that's
Orlando for
actually not
that.
too
Yeah,
far.
we'll
Heck
we'll be
yeah.
watching the premiere and then coming to broadcast to all 27 of our viewers by then.
Oh yeah. But I like for this Craven movie, I would be equally surprised if Tom Holland showed up as I would be if Tobey Maguire showed up
Yeah,
or like anything else. Like their rules are like we talked about this last time with the Raimi Spider-Man poster in the background, the Daily
yeah.
Bugle stuff. Like what is going on?
Well, I know I said this last time too. I would love to see Andrew Garfield be the main Spider-Man. If they're gonna split it up, I would love to see Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield be the main Spider-Man of Sony because uh
Yeah, that'd be great
I
and
think
have them exist in separate
I think
universes.
he's the best. I think it's for sure he's the best actor out of the three of them, like a straight up actor. I mean, Social
Yeah.
Network,
Yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge. He speaks for himself. He's such a I love him. He's so great.
Hmm.
And Toby's great too. And Brothers and movies such as that. And Tom's in
Spider-Man
yeah,
3.
no. Tom Holland's in every movie coming out by a big studio. He's in a movie with Mark Wahlberg, Uncharted. Yeah, the
Oh
Rabbit.
yeah.
So
I couldn't find any more info on that than like
it's
I
just
don't know.
Mark Wahlberg
I've
speaking
never
to
played.
Pumpkin
Actually, I
Master.
did. I played one of the games,
Yeah,
but Mark Wahlberg.
I don't
What?
know why Mark Wahlberg's in
And
a video game movie, but I also didn't know
I don't
why
know.
they made a Jumanji movie with Kevin Hart and The Rock. But I enjoyed those. So
I was gonna say
those are good.
that was a
Those are
weird get,
those are
but
good
those movies
movies.
turned out
Yeah, I
very
like
good.
those two movies. They're fun. They're fun
Fun.
times, and that's what you want for out of those. Uh, but to wrap it up, actually, speaking of which, there's been a ton of movies that have been
Hmm.
trailers coming out. Fast and Furious 9 comes out soon. Quiet Place 2 dropped today. Cruella dropped today. Uncharted, Last Night in Soho. All those trailers and stuff have come out. What's the movie non-comic book related that you're most looking forward
Hmm.
to seeing within the next year?
Well, definitely, definitely. Last Night in Soho.
I
That
was
looks
about to say that.
amazing.
Oh
Just that looks so good. Looks fantastic. Quiet Place 2 also. That also looks great, and I've heard great things already.
yeah.
Corolla, I'm sure will be fine. I'm sure I'm gonna see it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Jungle
seeing that
Book or
tonight.
Jungle Book?
Yeah. Jungle
Jungle
Cruise.
Cruise also looks like the Mummy, which I love. Like I love the Brendan Fraser Mummy, and
Oh,
this kind
I
of
love
reminds me
Brendan
of that.
Fraser.
Um, yeah, but I think Last Night in Soho, as far as like a film I know I'm gonna love, I have a feeling I'm really gonna like that movie.
Thomasin McKenzie killed it in Jojo Rabbit. I don't know if you've seen it, and
Hmm.
you know she's the
I love
yes,
Jojo
that's
Rabbit.
such a good movie. And so I feel like she's really gonna nail this role and probably end up getting
Oh
nominated for
yeah,
an Oscar. And I think this is gonna really send
yeah.
her into stardom. Just an early
I
Oscar
hope so.
prediction over here. And then
And what's her name? The girl from the chess show. Queen's Gambit.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
still
yeah,
have yet
yeah.
to watch, but
I know I haven't watched that either.
she's also um, talk of the town. I feel like she was in another big movie recently, but maybe I'm just thinking about the Queen's Gambit.
But
But yeah, it's like it's got the recipe for. It's an interesting plot. Doesn't seem too far fetched
yeah,
where you are kind of turned off by it, but I
it's
don't know.
it's
It
it's
seems great. Very
creative
excited.
enough.
Edgar
Yeah.
Wright, great dude.
So I mean,
Very
yeah,
excited.
anything that's coming out under his name is gonna spark some.
But that will be nowhere near the cinematic
Oh
greatness
God,
of Fast and the Furious 9.
dude, I've
This time
heard
we
it's
have
fun.
magnets.
I've heard this movie is really fun. I'm really excited to see
I
it.
mean, obviously.
But like
The
even eight and seven
oh,
were supposed to be fun. I didn't enjoy them. See, I enjoyed them through like six. I thought like one through four was when I enjoyed five. I
I
thought five was pretty good. I thought the first through the fourth were like the prime because you know Tokyo Drift's legendary. Uh, just because of the music. Uh,
I have seen, I think, three of the
really.
movies, and I could not tell you which three. I know that the third one was the most recent one, the one with the
Yeah,
submarine,
yeah,
right? That was the most
yeah. That's
recent.
like the worst
Okay,
one.
I was very perplexed, but I also find them
Oh
hysterical.
yeah, they know what they
Like
are.
they exactly, and it, like they feel like not like quite as bad as like Birdemic or
Yeah.
Sharknado, but like they kind of feel like that sort of movie, but it's also like really high production value action
Yes, it's
sequences.
got the production of a big
So
blockbuster with the wackiness of
yeah,
like a indie like fun like Sharknado or
and especially
Zombieland
like
or
yeah, I laughed out loud watching the trailer because I didn't even know that they're making a ninth one. I assumed
they're
they
making
were. I didn't
10.
know.
And I
Yeah, I watched
yeah.
this ninth one, but when when John Cena comes out and they're like, "It's Dom's brother," I laughed
So just
so
8
hard I
movies,
had
he's
to
just
pause
chilling.
the thing. Yes, that's just so funny. Like his brother's like James Bond, but he's bad, and he's also John
He's
Cena.
also just
Like
ripped. Uh,
yes,
I saw
I
something.
and then
It was like if the
so
Avengers
good.
fought. It was like if the Avengers fought the Fast and Furious, who would win? And it was like if Dom was doing it for the family, then he would solo every single Avenger. Uh,
Oh, 100%. But what do you do when you have to fight your family? Oh no, we're gonna get some dramatic Vin Diesel dialogue about like you were never my brother, but you're always family, and he saves them at the
and then
last
he's gonna be
minute. Oh
invited to
my
the
god!
cookout at
Like
the end, and they're just gonna have a beer.
exactly, he's gonna be.
And then
They're
in
all
the
gonna be
10th
together, and
movie,
he's gonna show up at the end.
John Cena's cousin, the villain
Oh
of the
no!
10th.
John Cena's cousin, also played by John Cena, is the, the new villain.
Oh
Oh
no.
god!
But yeah, I'm excited for those movies. I feel like we got a good batch coming up. Speaking of batch,
Yeah,
Bad
a lot of good movies
Batch.
going on. Uh oh.
That was off the dome.
Arnar.
That was off the dome. That was a hell of a transition though. I might have to get signed by somebody. But
That was good. You have better precognitive
listen,
reflexes than a certain little Australian
just oh
child.
my god, get that force negative woman out of here. So I am to be clear, I have nothing against Omega. However,
No, me neither.
I am something the first 2 episodes of Bad Batch were fantastic. The first episode in
Yeah,
particular was like end of season 7 Clone Wars level good. And
yeah, it got me hyped from the
I was
get
a
go.
little disappointed. I saw 16 episodes. I was like, "Okay, we're gonna have filler." And sure
Hmm.
enough, we have had filler. It's good seeing Fennec Shand. It's good seeing some old characters that we know and
Hmm.
like really building up the universe. But I feel as if this show, and like I said, I haven't watched the episode from today that just dropped on the 28th. I'm a fake fan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, talking about characters, new and
Yeah,
old. You do get an old one in this
yeah,
one, uh, a favorite of mine, a weird character, but you also get a new character. I think it's a new character. It's hinted
yeah.
at that it might be the old character, but I'm pretty sure it's not. All I'm gonna say is that I can't wait for Moochie, a Star Wars story, to hit theaters this summer.
I
Because,
better not get any more Star Wars story films. I don't want any more Star Wars story films. I just want
well, isn't that what we're getting with Rogue Squadron? Isn't that
yeah, well,
basically
that'll
a
be
Star
she's
Wars
a good
story?
director, but you know, I just don't
Yeah,
I
that'll be
don't want
good.
any more solos, bro. Like, look, can we get some new characters in here? Which they're trying with Omega, but
That'd be
same
great.
recipe. And that's my problem is she's
Well,
getting saved every
yeah.
like the episode like I read like a breakdown of what happens today and like I haven't watched it yet
Hmm.
though, but it's like we have to do this run for our ship. Oh no, something goes wrong. Oh no, Omega's lost. We got to get Omega. Omega's back to the family. Oh, we're good to go. We're happy. And then it's the next episode. It's been like that for like 3 or 4. And
Yeah, they keep like slowly progressing her
yeah,
story, like little hints of like, oh, she's force sensitive, or oh, she's a super smart clone, or something like that. But then she's sort of more of a like a plot
yeah,
object than a
yeah. I
character.
just
Like
she's just
I don't know.
annoying in terms of like I was telling you before the show. I feel as if it would be better if it was smaller, like a shorter amount of episodes, like 40-minute, an hour long episodes, like 8 episodes, 7 episodes in the season. That way we don't have 16, 20-minute episodes strung out with a bunch of filler. The hype's gonna die
Hmm.
down. You know what I'm saying? The first episode was
Yeah,
fantastic. Like that episode was so good. Seeing Order 66, seeing Kanan, like so good. And
it's really
then
good.
we got to see Omega just be a child and
And
take a
like,
battery from a dog on a different planet. That's about all we've seen.
yeah, that's true. But the like when you were just talking about like the kind of like the plot point
Yeah.
of like, oh, our ship broke down, we have to do this to fix our ship, and oh no, Omega's gone. They made me realize that that's basically what the Mandalorian is, but they do it so much better.
But yeah, because
Like,
it's longer and each there's not any filler. I'd say the only filler episode in The Mandalorian that doesn't develop the character. Like
mhm.
I just feel like we don't have character development with this. Like they're doing stuff that's not developing character. They're just doing tasks.
Yeah,
Like it reminds me
exactly.
that early on in the Clone Wars, I was telling you this, like with Ahsoka in the first season or
Hmm.
two. I used to hate Ahsoka. I was like, this chick is awful. And now she's my favorite Star
Yeah.
Wars character besides Obi-Wan because of what they did with her season 3 and
Hmm.
beyond. And you know, if it wasn't for the Obi-Wan show, that'd be my most excited Star Wars thing coming out. Uh,
Oh
but
yeah, forgot about
I
Obi-Wan.
just feel as if we'd need more character development and not just character happening. Because they're staying
Yeah,
the same, and I don't like it.
exactly.
But yeah, that's it for that part of our rants talking about the awful happenings of Sony per usual and whatever the hell Star Wars has got going on. Because I don't know. Also, they just canceled the Rangers of the Republic of the New Republic show. Did you see that?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, because apparently it was not in development yet, and then they pulled it from like potential
Yeah,
development,
because
which
Gina
is
got fired.
interesting.
I feel like she was going to be a big plot of that show. Uh,
Yeah. And I still like, even with Gina, I was trying to figure out what the show would have
at
been.
just Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah,
Just
but
some
I
rebels.
still like, I
Just some
don't
new
know.
rebels.
I don't know, just some rebels just kind of sitting around. But then what were they rebelling against? Because it would just be like a boring like, we're the government
Yeah,
now, and we need to make sure you have your paperwork for this
they really
shipment.
got to
Like,
flesh out what happened between
what?
6 and 7. Man, we literally have no clue what the hell happened between 6 and 7. Besides, there was a guy played by Peter Pascal, Pedro Pascal, Peter
Peter,
Peter
Peter
Pascal. He's
Parker,
just a New Yorker.
New
Hey, give me
Yorker.
the child. Give me the baby.
That's
E
Boston.
coffee. I know. Okay, we're not gonna mock the. We're not gonna.
He got Mark
You got mock.
Wahlberg. I can't do that. Oh, I sound
He's
like a
got the.
baby when I
He's got
said
the.
that.
Yeah, you gotta do
I'm Mark Wahlberg.
That's how he's gonna sound next to Tom Holland.
Somebody buy one of my burgers. Did anybody see Ted 2? The
Yo,
sequel to the movie
those
Ted?
movies are so funny. Like those are like some
They
of the
are funny.
funniest movies I've seen. Uh, but yeah, that's our accent. That's what the people come for.
Hmm.
Dude, Mark Wahlberg in the MCU. It's got to happen soon.
It's not
It's
gonna
gonna
happen
happen. I'm gonna bring
unless
it up
he
every.
plays Quicksilver, and we have a Craven Quicksilver like showdown, and they do like the Face Off thing that Nicolas Cage and John Travolta did in Face Off, and then the actors switch, and then Mark Wahlberg is Craven, and Aaron Tyler Johnson is
Listen,
Quicksilver
I'm bringing
again.
up Mark Wahlberg in the MCU every episode for the end
Okay,
of time. I don't even
until
want to
we
see
have
him in
him on.
there. I just don't want to see him in there. But I feel like it'd be such a meme.
No,
Like
I would like to go the rest of my life without seeing Mark Wahlberg in general,
oh,
especially
okay,
if
no
it's in the
slander in
MCU.
the no slander, Mark. Does he play himself in every single movie like The Rock? Of course, but
Yes, yes, yes. Does he play Crypto the Superdog?
no.
That's the
Also, I
question.
think The Rock is
No.
becoming a much better actor, and I think Black Adam is gonna
Yeah.
show that he's like really tremendous. But also, I'm a
Oh
big
yeah, I'm
like The
excited for
Rock's
that.
like my favorite celebrity slash actor, so I'm kind of biased because I buy his workout equipment, and I'm like, do you know I like this guy? Like
Yeah,
at the gym, this hoodie's on. Uh, but I think he's gonna kill it, and
I
I'll be
agree.
wearing his hoodie. I'll be eating a Mark Wahlberg burger, a Wahlburger, uh,
A Wahlburger.
and it's gonna be a good time. And that's when I'm gonna sit down and watch him in Uncharted and absolutely
Oh
bomb the
God.
box office to where they reboot the movie
Yeah,
again in 6 years.
seriously. I don't know what like I'm all for adventure temple movies. Like Indiana Jones is my favorite movie. I love that stuff. And apparently Uncharted is fantastic and I know I should play it,
But I won't.
but I don't know.
All right.
Tom Holland isn't necessarily that kind of guy.
Tom Holland's a good actor,
I
but
mean,
he's got to take a break. He's
he is
gonna
good,
get
but
burnt out, man. He's gonna play Spidey
I
for like
know.
another 20 years. You got to
I
chill.
know.
Stop with the money.
Just
Go
sit
on
down, Tom
vacation.
Holland.
Go on vacation, please.
Come on. I know you're one of the 26 listeners
Yeah,
to this. Please sit down, take a deep breath,
you don't have to work
have
another day of
some
your life. Yeah,
tea.
have some tea, some crumpets.
Yeah, you're already rich.
Uh,
Yeah, I have some crumpets in it.
okay,
I'm Tom Holland.
Harry Potter.
Oh, I'm Spider-Man in it. Crawling up walls, I am, eh?
Dobby crawled some walls too, and then he got hit by a knife. So, on that note,
Rip. Spoiler.
no, not a spoiler alert. Rest in peace, Dobby. I cried in that movie when he died, even though I knew that was gonna happen. Uh, but going into the main part. Speaking of comic books, movies. Speaking of movies in general, but mainly comic book movies, because that's mainly what we talk about and what we care about. Uh,
Seems to
and we
be.
are judging these movies and what's going to be good or not. And we're going to be talking about.
We are the
We
voices
are
of
the voices
taste
of the
and reason.
people. Obviously, I have very big credentials. I'm a fourth year student and
We
my
were
business
elected.
degree, so I am very
Exactly.
qualified. I make Twitter rants on the daily about Marvel, so I'm very qualified to give my opinions and know about how a movie is good or not. So,
You know, I don't think I follow you on Twitter. I just
yeah,
haven't
that's a
realized.
good time.
I retweet shit posts. That's about
Yeah,
my
my
only
my retweets are
abilities.
pretty killer. I'm not gonna lie to you. But so the main part of this show is going to be talking about what makes a comic book movie good, and we're gonna start three things. I'm gonna go first. I think there's three
Okay.
elements for both of us. We're gonna list off. For me, the first
Mm-hmm.
one is relatability. Uh, a lot of these
Mm-hmm.
movies that succeed. I think the best example of relatability is Guardians of the Galaxy. Uh,
Hmm.
these movies are the most outlandish characters, like these aliens, these animals from different planets, and yet their family issues, their struggles, their internal struggles, the way they hide pain, the way they deal with it, their PTSD, their trauma is so human that we can relate
Mm-hmm.
to it. It's why they're the first Guardians is my second favorite movie besides Winter Soldier, uh, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a having relatable characters is, which also makes Peter Parker and Spider-Man 2 such a good character.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Yeah.
relatability, relating to that character, knowing that character, really stands out. The second part, I would say, for a good comic book movie, would be ac- actually, yeah, you go next. You go next. Let me not rush through this. Yeah,
Hmm,
you get your first reason
interesting.
first. Yeah. But
Okay. Going off of the relatability thing, I also think that that's an important aspect of just a good comic book
yeah.
hero
Hmm.
to begin with, or even a villain to a lesser degree.
Yes.
But like the relatability, like being able to see yourself on the page in a way.
Yes.
I think that's huge, especially like most of us started out as little kids loving these heroes and stuff. But my first thing, because I know your bullet points, and your bullet points were the first bullet points that came to my mind. So I was like,
Oh, okay.
I have to
Cool.
mine are a little more uh, not as interesting, I think. But understanding what the protagonist wants
Yes.
is a thing that I think it's for most movies in general. But it drives me crazy sometimes when I'm watching the movie and I'm like, why, why are they even? And then you're like, oh well, okay, so they wanted to do that. Like aside from just like a plotty thing, like I need to go to the grocery store to get groceries,
Yeah.
and then they have like a fight. It's like, okay, I get that, but why are they doing this? Why are they? I don't know. I
Yes,
think
dude. And that,
understanding and not just being told, but like actually understanding. Like I think Spider-Man 2 is a pretty great
dude,
example of
Spider-Man
like
2 is the best example
why
for all of
he.
these. It's
Yeah,
I'm gonna use it.
let's
Yeah.
relate it all back to Spider-Man 2. Like why he throws his suit in the trash
Yeah.
and why he decides to pick it back up again. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's
And
great.
I definitely have, now that we're talking about it, Peter's my favorite comic book character. I just have to add this
Hmm.
for the relatability and what makes him so great. Uh An
He's a
example.
nerd.
Yep, he's a nerd. Peter Parker is literally a normal kid, just like us. His biggest problems aren't, man, how am I gonna defeat Mysterio? Man, how am I gonna get Craven to stop burying me alive? His biggest problems realistically are, how am I gonna take care of Aunt May? How am I gonna pay the bills?
Hmm.
How am I gonna take care of Gwen? And once she dies, MJ. My favorite part of the Steve Ditko Stan Lee comic run is, like, one of my favorite parts is what's the thing stopping him from going out of town or like chasing down these villains or whatever is, he's like, how am I going to take care of Aunt May? Like, what
Hmm.
hero does that? Like, up until then you have Superman, you have Cap, and Cap's like my second favorite character. He's great,
Hmm.
but Peter is literally us. Peter is if we were
Hmm.
superheroes, and relating to him and struggling with how are we balancing our life? How are we knowing what we're doing is good? I'm going to talk about the next part of that later on with my third bullet point. But I just thought Peter Parker is probably the best example of relatability. And for you understanding,
Yeah.
I feel like the best understanding is Killmonger if we're going to go villains. Uh,
Yes.
Killmonger was raised in a family. He's in a family, and he wasn't. They left him to just be whatever after they killed his father, which wasn't right.
Hmm.
T'Chaka was in the wrong for that, and understanding the pain for that character. Like, I have this family. First of all, they're standing me as outcast out of something I didn't do. So I work my
Hmm.
whole life to be a part of that and try and help out other people along the way. And that country is so advanced and they don't want to help out other people. And you understand
Hmm.
where he's coming from. Obviously, mass murdering a bunch of people and getting a tattoo or a bump for every single confirmed kill isn't what you really want to do in life. But understanding where he's coming from is the reason why I think he's a top 3 MCU villain with like Thanos and Loki. Uh, but I
Hmm.
think that's a really big part for that. And leading on to the next part, I think character, we were talking about this with the understanding character driven stories and not story driven characters.
Hmm.
uh
Yeah.
think about it like this: Spider-Man 3, the studio
Yeah.
wanted,
Perfect movie. I
yeah,
agree. Every way.
right from the arguably the best comic book movie ever to not a bad movie. it's a,
Hmm.
it's a fun movie, but it's not.
It's
It's
fine. It's like the
fine.
Fantastic Four
Yes,
movies.
yes.
It's fine.
But it could have been so much better because the studio was driving a
Yeah.
story of all these villains and all this stuff and not the characters. Like, the best movies, think about like this: Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, in my opinion, is the best comic
Hmm.
book movie. Spider-Man 2 is right behind it. Although I feel
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 is more
I
relatable
agree with
and
that.
a better film to watch, like whenever you're going through something. It's a good comfort movie. It's so good.
Hmm.
Uh, but understanding those characters, understanding those characters drive the story. The Joker's actions drive what happens to Batman, and Batman's
Hmm.
thinking ends up driving the rest of the way. And you understand that character and his feelings flesh out the story. Same as Harvey Dent. Uh, it's not just these characters just walking around doing stuff because they want to. Besides the Joker, but still, even then, you understand the Joker, that everybody's just one bad day away, and why are some people valued over others. You understand those
hmm
characters, and the story's driven by those characters. Harvey Dent realizing that nothing's fair drives him to make the decision to want to
hmm
kill Gordon's son and end up framing Batman. And Batman's integrity and character ends up being the reason why he chooses to claim the killings of Harvey, and he chooses to be the villain that night because he knows that his character and his integrity and his beliefs are that everybody can be good. And if the public were to see that he wasn't good, then that Harvey wasn't good, then the Joker would have won. And so his beliefs drove that story and everything. But a lot of these studios nowadays, where you see films fail, like Spider-Man 3, some of the DC movies, where they try and include characters and like, oh, this character's doing this. We're doing just for the characters, not the like the big names and the toys, and not the actual character development.
hmm
And that's the big difference between Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3. But
Exactly. And I would throw on to that, it's kind of like the inverse with the Thor movies because the first two, I don't know. I mean, there is some character development, sure,
yeah,
mostly on Loki's
yeah,
side, but like there's such a stark contrast between the first two and Ragnarok. Like Thor's whole arc is so much more powerful in Ragnarok, and Loki's to a degree, I
yeah,
guess. But um, like his and that was a movie that decided to throw more at it. Like the Hulk is in it. They go to all these crazy planets. Asgard blows up. There's a giant fire demon, but like none of that felt overpowering,
yeah. The and
and it was fine.
exactly.
Whereas the other two movies didn't have much going on, and also there wasn't much character-driven story. It was a lot of like plot
Yeah, we
stuff.
don't love these. We love the battles of Endgame and we love the battles of Infinity War, but the things that
hmm
made us cry were when Steve got his dance with
hmm
Peggy. It's when Tony,
Exactly.
went from being this selfish asshole to somebody who's willing to sacrifice his life for the rest of the universe. Those are the moments that hit.
hmm
It's Wanda being told that, what is grief if not love preserving. It's stuff like
hmm
that. And those character driven moments are what, not to be the guy, but make Marvel stand out right now. Marvel Studios stand out so much more
Yeah.
than DCEU because they go for the character driven, while DC's like, let's throw all these characters into Black Adam, which I think they'll be fine. But they've got like
Yeah.
every villain or person we want in that movie. But yeah, I think that's 100%. Yeah, for sure.
And that's why I'm hoping that they do Black Widow justice with this
Yes.
movie, as opposed to like not that. I mean, she hasn't had the chance, I guess, to be the character that the story is driven from or driven behind. But you think of her and what's his name, Jeremy Renner.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was about to say
What's his name,
yeah.
Hawkeye. Like they're just so like uninteresting
Oh
characters.
really? Do
Uninteresting.
you Black Widow's
Well,
about yeah.
until you get to like what
It,
the Age
yeah,
of
I was just
Ultron.
now Winter Soldier for me is where so she's
Oh yeah, yeah,
Scarlett's my
exactly.
second favorite out of the OG 6, and then it's probably Tony and Thor. But I feel it.
Hmm.
I know it's bold, but her story
Wow.
of not having a family and then finding herself in a family and feeling like she's the monster. I
hmm
think Age of Ultron is massively underrated. I don't know why
Yeah.
people even dislike it or don't think it's great. It's not the best, but like it's a really great film still. And that's why her and Bruce are like the convo between with them in the bedroom. Uh,
hmm
and you realize that she believes she's just as much of a monster, if not more, than a guy who turns into this green beast and literally cannot die. Shows like how
hmm
bad she feels about herself, and her going from feeling like she's this monster that doesn't belong with anybody to willing to be so okay and at peace with that family, and what made her so happy that she could die for it and be okay with it. Uh, to me,
Exactly.
that's so I feel like she's had her story. I know this is just gonna add on to it, and I can't wait. But I also feel like what you were saying, I think it's gonna also uh, usher in Florence Pugh's Black Widow, Yelena.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be both, and I don't know why David Harbour's in it, but he's there too. Uh,
Comedic
yeah,
relief, I'm sure.
yeah, he could have been the Thing, but it's waste casting.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. I know. I think
that
about
would have
that.
been
I think about
good.
that all the time. Trust me. It's like the number one thing I think about in the morning.
Oh man.
But
I saw a this is a bit of a tangent, But did we already talk about this? I want to get your thoughts on
Okay.
it. It was a TikTok saying that the Fantastic Four should have the like man out of time plot that Cap had, where they went up in space in the '60s and got lost in some time vortex, and then in Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp find them and bring them back, and they would have sort of and that would like explain their powers and how they end up in the MCU sort of unexpectedly.
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
It'd be more interesting than like four astronauts go to space
Yeah.
and get hit by
I
a space
I
cloud,
definitely
and
think
now
it's
they're
I think it
superheroes.
could be that they're a team that went looking for Janet, after she went subatomic,
Hmm.
and they ended up getting lost too. Or, that's also gonna be the city where Kang travels to, I feel like. I also
Yeah.
think Kane's gonna originate in Loki. I think we're gonna see Kang in 12 days or whatever. Or in that when that show
Yeah. I
starts,
mean,
not
you're
12
messing
days,
with
but yeah.
time.
You're gonna get one of the
Yeah.
Richards in there. The dick.
It's true.
But yeah.
Heyo.
All right, what's your second bullet point?
My second bullet point is that the characters, at least the main character, should be an interesting human outside of just being a
Mhm.
superhero, which feels obvious. But like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man,
So good.
aside from Spider-Man 2, not the most interesting. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, I think Spider-Man
I
1,
mean,
yeah.
I love Spider-Man 1, sure, but you need to be able to really root for him. Like I think that Miles in
Oh,
Spider
yes.
Verse is like I could care less about even the Spider-Man aspect of it. Like I loved Miles as a character,
Yeah.
and I think that Tom Holland's Peter Parker, especially in Homecoming, was good at that. Like I was invested in his high school drama,
Yeah.
and I liked him as a person
No,
and
100%.
as a Peter Parker as a human, as also a Spider-Man. And this is maybe controversial, but the Dark Knight whole thing. Love the Batman, all three movies. The Bruce Wayne is just to me not the most interesting character. I think that him as the Batman, and like you're saying, like his ultimate choice to make the villain move, it is interesting. But him as Bruce Wayne, maybe I need to rewatch the movies.
Yeah, I think you
But
do.
are you ready?
I'm
All right,
also a massive.
fight me with it. Wait, prove me wrong.
Okay, so I feel as if uh his biggest lesson is why do we fall, and it starts in Batman Begins, as you get it at the start when he falls into the cave, and then it's repeated when the manor's burned down, and then that's also what we see when he's about to build himself up back in the cave after he gets broken by Bane. And see,
Mhm.
I'm like I said, I'm also a big fanboy of this trilogy, but I feel as if he's so interesting because of the fact that he's relatable from that aspect. So this character is known, and his character development is we fall so we can learn to pick ourselves back up. Like no matter what happens, no matter what shit show happens, we learn to build ourselves up by our beliefs and stick to those beliefs and be the best person we can be, because
Mhm.
everybody has some good inside of them, and not everybody is one bad day away. No matter if you're the Joker or if you're like Jim Gordon, like you have all this potential to do good with yourself as long as you just keep picking yourself back up. And I think that is more interesting. Like, I guess Batman Begins is the most interesting Bruce Wayne in terms of like, oh, he can do
Mhm.
whatever the fuck he wants. Like, he's just buying hotels and swimming in the pool. But I feel like he's very interesting for his beliefs and his character development and who he is and what he's supposed to be to the story. If that makes sense.
Yes, I do
Okay.
agree. I just need to. I've seen The Dark Knight like 50 times, and I've seen Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises like
Yeah.
twice
Okay.
each.
So
So
yeah,
I need to
Dark
rewatch
Knight
those.
is least
But
interesting. Like he's like the fourth most interesting character. I think Alfred's more interesting in that.
exactly, like I think Harvey Dent is a more interesting character in
Yeah.
that movie. But maybe a better example is those movies versus. Have you seen the old Batman movies,
Yeah.
like
Michael Keaton.
the Tim Burton
Yeah.
ones? I love those. I love them. But is he a compelling, even compelling
Yeah.
Batman? Not
Yeah.
really.
I don't think so either. I think they're classics, but I think they're a little overrated. Like I love Michael Keaton as the Batman, but I think it was more
See
so. What are you saying?
the fun, the fun and the aesthetics of it
Yes.
is so comic booky and is so great, and also like in terms of thinking about it from like you're a 10-year-old kid in 1988 and the Superman movies are okay, but then all of a sudden like this comes on screen and it feels like the comic book is moving before your eyes. Like that must have,
Yeah, I and
I don't know.
also with the studio then, they couldn't really adapt comic book stories. There weren't they you
No.
they and nowadays everything's adapted, like, most of the MCU is Ultimate Universe, or just
Mm-hmm.
classic lines, like, Amazing Spider-Man 2 had the
Mm-hmm.
death of Gwen Stacy, uh, but they were a lot of limit they were very a lot limited. They were very limited, at their time, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they could have been better because they were studios were scared to make jumps like that. But no, I definitely agree
Yeah,
with you on that.
and back then they had to be like, we're making a Batman movie, so we have to do like we have to give the people what like this could
Yeah.
be the only Batman movie. So we need the Joker, and we need the crazy like the gun with the flag that comes out of it,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
purple helicopter, and the smoke, and the rooftops, and the like. So they had to just jam it all into an hour and a half,
But that score
and
is so good.
so
Dude,
good. I
the
would love. I know it came back for the Justice League like very
did it?
briefly, but yeah, with the scene, at least in the non-Snyder cut, um,
Oh, yeah.
there's
Don't
like the
remember it.
very beginning when Batman's on the rooftop. You see like the dun 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 dun, and that's it.
Dude, listen, imagine it's
So good.
Flashpoint, the new Flash movie that's gonna be dog shit.
Don't get me
But
excited.
imagine Michael Keaton, like, you hear the music and Michael Keaton's up there on the roof. Oh god. Oh my god. So good.
But he's old Michael Keaton,
He's just Michael Keaton.
and
He's
then
not even
also he's
he's
Beetlejuice,
yeah,
and he's also
no,
Birdman.
he's just the Vulture. Uh
Oh
Yep,
shit!
and it's the Sonyverse. Anyways, before we get too off topic on that, uh,
Maybe we keep going
yeah, I
off.
know. Dear God, we got to cut down the time. It's okay. So my third point, is I think this is the biggest thing for a comic book is, or comic books in general, comic book movie is you think about it when you go home. It's something. It's
Yeah.
not just a movie you enjoy. Like obviously you enjoy it, but Spider-Man 2 makes us think.
Hmm.
Like Aunt May's speech about being a hero is something that can genuinely inspire or like somebody can look back on at any time in their life
Hmm.
and it's just so relatable. It's something that you think about like, wow, can anybody be a hero? Can we really all make the right choices? And I know we keep going back to Spider-Man, but Guardians also has great themes of
Hmm.
these as well as the Captain America trilogy. Trying to think of what else makes you think. I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy in terms of like everybody can be great. When those overall themes just make you think about like the world. But
Hmm.
Spider-Man 2's main themes.
Black Panther did
Yes,
that too.
yes. The first one, responsibility. The second movie, choices. Third movie, revenge. Those are the main themes of those three movies, and
Hmm.
they really make you think when you go home. Uh, and it all ties back into the character-driven stories and then the relatability. Peter Parker
Hmm.
Peter Parker. At the end of the day, realizes that he can always make the right choices, and even though the best thing might not happen, that's the right thing to do because that's the responsibility we have as human beings. Think going back to that, when we come home, we face something. It's just comic books in general. This is why they're so great.
Yeah.
But what makes a comic book movie great is when they adapt that part of the comic, not just the big characters and the flashy
Hmm.
stuff and the big fights in Endgame, but it's the fact that we can
Hmm.
be like Peter in terms of we can make the right choices. And even though it doesn't always work out, and even though we take losses, the fact that we're doing what's right is what's right in this world. And that's all any of us can do. And all of us can be a hero on that scale if we keep doing that. And thinking about topics like that when we get home is really what drives a movie. The Joker also made you
Hmm.
think more of a negative,
Yeah.
darker way, but
I was
movie
gonna say in a
in a much darker
different
way.
way, but it did make me think.
But movies that comic book movies that make you think when you get home about the topic and what it was really about and the theme, and that you can translate to like relatability. Absolute need.
Hmm.
Like Captain Marvel. I'm not hating on Brie. I don't go home and think, wow, I I really like the theme of that movie. Like
Well, in our defense, we are both men, and I know like my sister loved it
yeah,
more than I liked it, but and I've also seen people talk about um, the obviously like we're not the ones to talk about for female empowerment
yeah,
as like
yeah,
the
100%.
guys
Yeah,
But I can see that in movies when it's more obvious. But I think it probably takes a woman audience member to appreciate it more subtly
Yeah, see, I think Wonder Woman did a
ended.
better like Wonder Woman did a great job of that. I felt
Yeah, but then
yeah,
again,
I
that's
guess
not
yeah,
for us to
we don't
say,
really
I guess.
know.
But
Yeah.
either way, no, I do agree. The sentiment of the you're thinking about it on
Yeah.
the car ride home, and you're like rolling it over in your head, and like not necessarily trying to make sense of it, but like I'm like, wow, like the Last Jedi made me do
Yeah.
that. Like after I watched it, it wasn't like normal. Like when I walked out of the Force Awakens, I was so pumped. It was like I just did a line of Star Wars speed, and I was just like,
Yeah.
woo! But like when I walked out of the Last Jedi, I was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
this isn't good.
Like I was thinking about it. I was like, wait, did I love it? Did I not like
Dude,
it? And then I saw it again. And I was like, I loved it.
that's
And I don't
facts.
know,
I love,
it's great.
I love it. But no, I looked off to the
Mm-hmm.
side of my collection. The first thing I saw was Captain Marvel. But like in terms of, you know what I'm saying. Not to slander Brie
I know
2
you mean.
episodes in a row because she's a great actress. I just don't like what they're doing with her character, and I hope that they really improve it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna
I hope
fix it.
so.
She's gotten better each time she's been on
Yeah.
screen, as far as like how they wrote her. So
But
not Bree's
yeah.
fault, just the
Okay, a better movie,
writing.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't go back in a different topic. I'm not like, man, I
Yeah,
really this theme of the movie. Such a fun movie. It's a good movie.
it
But
is. It's funny, but
yeah,
yeah,
I'm not
you're
like,
right.
wow.
I never
I
think
really
about it.
think about what happened. Like what was I genuinely can't tell you what the theme of that movie was. Uh
Small go,
Small man
big.
goes tiny.
Small boy goes big. Small, there was an ant playing the drums.
There's a better example. Yeah,
um,
see, I can't tell you what the
yeah,
hell Ant-Man and the Wasp's theme is, but
it
yeah,
was
it's a
good.
fun movie. But
This one.
great, good, and then you have the movies like Justice League, the Whedon cut,
Hmm.
where
Never seen it. I don't know what that
yeah,
is.
yeah, I
My
don't recall
brain
it. I
deleted
don't
that
recall
from
it.
its
Where
working
these
memory.
characters, there is no theme. The theme is we make weird sexual jokes and harass our team members, and
Oh
yep,
God.
and then we just put it out there and hope for toys.
Is Batman angry? Is he snarky and
Well,
sarcastic?
who is Bruce Wayne?
We don't know. It depends on who wrote that
Is
particular
he just Ben
scene.
Affleck?
Yes,
That's facts. But
100%.
I think that kind of covers also the negative parts of what makes them bad is studios pushing for
Mm-hmm.
more scene than character development. We don't love, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, Guardians. One of my things to me that really stands out in terms of that relatability is Peter Quill, different Peter,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets
Yeah.
hated on about punching Thanos. But think about it like this, right?
No,
So
he did that. I
exactly,
always defend
I do
that. Like
too. Because think
that's
about it like
so
this:
true to his character.
he's given he's let two people,
He's lost
yeah,
everything in his
he's let
life.
two women affect him, right? Two women he's opened up to.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was his mom, and he let go of her, and he forever regretted not saying goodbye, and he lashed out like that child and ran away and totally ignored everything that happened and just put everything to the side, trying to deny it. When Gamora dies, it's the same thing. That was the second person for him to open up to really confide in, and that person was also
Mm-hmm.
taken to him without any closure, despite thinking he was doing the wrong thing. And once again, he's that little kid lashing out, like stuff.
Yeah.
Those character moments are what really drive these movies and make us think when we get home. And some the bad ones like the DC ones, they don't really do that. It's more so
No.
we push toys. And I think that's what makes a bad
Yeah.
comic book movie is story, not character, I would say.
100%.
But yeah, that's it. I'm looking over. Okay. One last question and then we're going to end it. If there is one comic
Okay.
book you would like to
Mm-hmm.
adapt into a movie, what comic book would it be? Story-wise.
Well, I am not as there's a comic book store right near my apartment, and I went in and it was amazing. And I need to buy more comics. But from what I know, I would love to see Spider-Man Noir slash Daredevil Noir
Oh, hold on.
be a
Okay,
movie.
hold on. We're
Wouldn't that be sweet?
yeah. See, I've got a more serious one, but that would be sweet. Okay,
Okay.
hear me out. This is from the DC end. I don't know if we'll get this. It's gonna take a
Okay.
lot of years of build up, but I would love to see the live action of uh which Robin? How am I forgetting which Robin it is? Jason Todd, of Jason Todd being tortured by the Joker and almost killed, or killed depending on how you go, and turn into the Red Hood.
Was
And because if you have, what were you about to say?
because I all right, I don't know a lot about the story, but I did used to watch Batman
Yeah,
Beyond, and there was a movie which I
the
don't remember
DC
the name
animated
of, but
goes.
it scarred me as a child because the Joker like kidnapped Robin and turned him into like a little Joker, and I don't know if that's where you're
No,
getting
so
at,
okay, so Red
but it
Hood's.
gave me nightmares for
I think
years.
Red Hood originated in like 2003 ish, early 2000. I'd have to look it up. He's a newer, relatively newer, within the past 20 years, I believe.
Okay,
Could be a little bit longer, but definitely on the newer side of characters, like Winter Soldier type. And which is funny because they're both some of the most interesting. Uh,
no, God, yeah,
but basically, he is captured by the Joker, and he's set on like a mission. Like also, this is the Jason Todd that was referenced in Zack Snyder's Justice League when he was sent off to handle the
okay,
Joker and the Joker killed him. That was the
mm-hmm.
reference in the nightmare sequence, and when the ha ha ha, and that's the
Yeah,
Jason Todd. So Jason Todd was sent to handle the Joker, and Batman wasn't there, and Batman doesn't want to kill the Joker, and the Joker killed Jason Todd, and like some variation, some movies like he tortured him, and because of this, Jason Todd went out to become also a crime fighter, but a killer, and he hates Bruce because he feels if Bruce loved him enough, then Bruce would have killed the Joker. But Bruce doesn't care about that enough. He cares
wow,
about his values more than his people. And that really I'd watch the animated movies. The DCAU has the story of this, and it's so good. It's really emotional too. Uh but
wow,
it's such a good tale of like, okay, his Batman's values, his relationships. What is this guy? It just Batman's such a he's are in my opinion, yeah.
complex
Him
character.
and Peter are like the
Yeah,
two most complex, and they're like some of my favorites. But
hmm
Jason Todd being Red Hood in comics would be amazing. And also, if we're gonna go dark Marvel, like I said earlier, for a Marvel story to adapt, I would say definitely 100% Craven's Last Hunt or a successful Gwen
hmm
Stacy death storyline. But Craven the Last Hunt is a dive into, Craven after he gets his final prey, and then also Spider-Man literally coming back from being buried alive. Very good psychological, dark ending. But
hmm
I think those two stories would be really great. Mostly Red Hood. I'd love to get live action Jason Todd. Uh, but yeah,
I mean, I feel like honestly, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Well, actually,
yeah.
maybe because I have no clue what the status of the Justice League is. But like the way that Snyder's Justice League implied some of those
Well,
more dark
and yeah, in
storylines.
Snyder's Justice League, the death already happened. Robin was already
Yeah,
killed.
but we don't know if we're seeing like we could see what happened prior to
Yeah,
that, like because that was supposed to be the
yeah.
future
Well, and
or like a vision
I
of the
know in the
future.
original Batman Batfleck movie, it was Batman would end up teaming up with Batgirl to fight Deathstroke. Uh,
Mm,
and I think that was released like a month or like right after the Snyder cut. Came out, I guess 2 months ago. Damn, time's flying. Uh, but I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, if you're gonna build a story like that, first of all, you have to establish Robert Pattinson as a Batman for a long time to really make it
yeah.
successful. So I don't know if we'll see that anytime soon. I don't think we will, but I think that's a comic book storyline that would really resonate and hit home on the same level as The Dark Knight, and make you think. That's not as much relatable because not all of us have had a partner die and get resurrected and completely change his beliefs off of a bombing.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah, it makes you think.
it's it's not like the exact story needs to be
Yeah,
relatable. It's like like not all of our uncles were shot by
exactly.
robbers that we let go because we were wrestling when he thought we were at the
We
library.
were. I do that all
But
the time, bro.
I mean, that did happen to me last week, but that's separate. That's
That
what are
was
the
Dave
odds?
Filoni walking in and wrestling you because we were.
Oh no, Dave Filoni shot my
Yeah,
uncle. Um, it was, yeah. I mean, it's the characters.
yeah,
It's
hmm
how they like. I could definitely see that being worked out to be a really solid
yeah,
like trilogy. Honestly,
yeah. No, 100%.
if they would ever do it,
So
but
that's one I would hope they at some point do. But at the same time, I feel like we've got a lot of great movies coming up. Shang-Chi in particular, I think is going to kill it.
hmm
And I'm really excited to see where comic book movies go. There's a really bright future. I don't think
Yeah, it's like a breath
and
of
there's
fresh
so many
air with the
tones. Yeah,
Eternals and
there's so many
Shang-Chi.
tones with each
Yeah.
movie that it's not even like we're gonna just get bored because every movie's different.
Yeah.
It's not the same comic book formula anymore. They're all
Yeah,
different genres.
it's like
Like they're like yeah.
just like comic books
Mhm,
themselves.
exactly.
Or so you can have something like The Mask is a comic book. Like you can read something absolutely. You can read Howard the Duck, and then you could go read like The Killing Joke all on the same trip
Exactly.
to the comic book store. Like I like that.
Yeah. But before we end the show, is there anything else you want to say?
I'm very excited for Moon Knight, Oscar
Oh,
Isaac.
yes, dude, I saw him
That's gonna
posted
be
up
sweet.
yesterday in Marvel Studios.
Yes,
Oh, I love
very
Oscar
excited for
Isaac is
that.
such he deserves so much better as Poe. Uh, and here's
Oh
here's the thing.
God, yeah,
We're
I
never gonna
know.
see those
Just
actors
watching
come
Rise
back.
of Skywalker again.
Uh,
Oh
we're never gonna
man,
see those characters again because first of all, John
I
Boyega
know.
would rather die than come back. As rightfully is he
Which
right?
is so
Yeah.
sad because Finn could have been so
And he
awesome.
should rightfully be upset. Let me say that
Yes, hundred
because he
percent.
100% should have got more character development. And Oscar Isaac as well. So I don't think we're ever going to see their stories fleshed out, which sucks. But at the same time, unless they
Mm-hmm.
do like animated. But at the same time, uh, yeah, I'm excited to see Oscar get another chance
Me
and
too.
Moon Knight,
And Moon Knight.
dude.
Hopefully they keep it
I
dark
think they will.
and
Have you
funny.
seen the training the like the training montage of Oscar Isaac? Dude,
No,
there's like it came out like a month ago of him training and it's badass, bro. It's like Daredevil level fighting.
that's what I would hope.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's also supposed to be like in Egypt, so I think they're going to go with like the mystical route, like God Anubis or
Yeah.
whatever gives them his
I hope so.
powers or whatever that
Yeah.
is. I don't know. Yeah,
I mean,
go all
we're
out,
at
go
the point
crazy.
where you have to. And here's also
Mm-hmm.
here's before we end, I'm gonna say this. Marvel's best characters, their A tier characters have yet to be used. In terms of
Mm-hmm.
Spidey's just getting started. Uh
Mm-hmm.
X-Men haven't even been introduced. Fantastic Four
I
haven't
haven't
even
seen
been
the
introduced. Yeah,
Fantastic
those
Four.
characters besides Captain America, they're all B list.
So
They're all
excited.
B list comic characters besides Cap. Uh,
Yeah,
those other
yeah.
guys are so much bigger.
Oh, Hulk. Hopefully we get more
Yeah,
Hulk
I
with
don't think we
She-Hulk and
will.
all
I
that
mean, like,
stuff.
I
But
don't think Mark Ruffalo's got much left in the tank for that, and there's only so much more he can do.
yeah, it's
Unfortunately,
true.
he did get cheated out of a little development in Endgame, but it
Hmm.
still completed his arc in a
Sad.
way, so I'm not upset because his arc was coming to terms with the
Yeah.
Hulk. Uh,
Hmm.
and in that sense, he really felt like he was, at the end when he says, I guess I was born for this," like he comes to terms with that's what he is, and he's okay with
Hmm.
that. God, I love these stories. They're so good. They're really so good.
I know.
But
I'm excited. I'm so excited for Loki. Oh
oh,
my god.
dude, we're gonna talk about that in 2 weeks, man. I'm so excited. That's when the
Woo.
show's really gonna get popping because right now we're kind of just next week. I think we're gonna, if you watching Invincible or this next week, we're gonna talk
Yeah,
about
sure.
it.
How many episodes are out?
There's 8. It's done. It finished a few weeks ago.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
done. Yeah, I
you can binge it,
could
dude.
probably binge
Dude,
that this week sometime.
Invincible might be the best superhero show I've ever seen. That's not an
Wow,
exaggeration. It's that good. It's brutal, but it's that good. It's like Peter Parker if he had Superman powers.
that
Rated
sounds
R.
cool.
It's really good.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
sold. I'm sold.
exactly. But with that being said, this show is getting a little tad too long. Thank you guys for
Hmm.
tuning in. If you tuned in all the way, all 7 of you, more than 0. I am very thankful to have even anybody listen to this and the opportunity to be able to do this. So thank you. And thank you, Nate, for letting, coming on again and being my co-host. Very
Of
thankful for you
course,
giving an hour and 8 minutes and 40 seconds of your day to talk about nerdy shit with me. Uh,
that's
but
what I
yeah,
do best.
Sirski.
Actually, that's what I do
Yep.
worst. But
Uh,
thinking about nerdy shit,
no, that's better.
if I could, I'm like, I just try to drink my water and an ice cube just launched in the back of my throat, and I just had to like silently choke instead of pressing the mute button. So now I have an ice cube in my mouth, so I'm trying to talk the best I can.
That's all right.
Um, yeah,
All right. Well, with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys next week on the 3rd episode of Good Film Hunting. And you guys have a great rest of your week. Peace out.